You also see, like, Shinzon is, like, visibly getting sicker by the moment. Like, he's really deteriorating very fast here, and he's becoming more and more unhinged, like, every second that he's on this ship. Okay, so aboard the Scimitar, Picard makes his way to the bridge. We do get a final fight scene between him and Shinzon. Shinzon has lots of knives. Like, he kept pulling out knives, and I'm like, you have so many. And he's trying to fight Picard.
He's a Ginsu knife seller on the side.
He is. But wait, what about these Ginsu knives?
He's like, see how thinly this slices a tomato?
Watch me slice through this tin can. And then
like,
Picard...
Watch me slice through the Starfleet officer's arm.
That's hilarious. And then, like, there are these... I don't even know what they are. They look like wooden planks or spears. And Picard grabs one. He stabs Shinzon with it. Shinzon does that really creepy thing where he's impaled on the beam... And then he, like, pulls himself closer to Picard, like, sliding his body now along the beam. And he's like, I'm glad we're together now at the end. And it's like...
The only way that scene is creepier is that if he continues to pull all the way into, like, a full hug and then whispers that into his ear.
I thought he was going to kiss Picard at that one moment. Like,
I'm glad we're together.
I'm coughing. Like, okay, I haven't seen Jupiter Ascending, but I know people were all kind of talking about it was terrible, but like everything I ever saw with Eddie Redmayne and him talking in that voice and wearing that outfit, it's like somebody watched this, like the Wachowskis or something watched this and was like, that's it! That's the character we want in this movie, only we wanted him to be a freckled-faced ginger.
You could totally never watch Jupiter Ascending and you'd be okay.
Yeah.
Like, really.
Yeah, I was cool. I was cool just listening to people talk about it and, you know, seeing the trailers. That was all right.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, I'm good.
So, yeah, creepy death scene here. And then Data, of course, is aboard the Scimitar because he's torpedoed himself across space. He slaps the emergency transport thing on Picard, sends him back to the Enterprise, and then says goodbye. Okay. Still not what I was looking for. And then he does destroy the weapon, which makes the ship explode. But I don't know, wouldn't that still have released radiation everywhere? Because that weapon was, like, charged. Like, it was ready to go, and then he blows up the ship. I felt like that still would have flooded the whole area with the radiation. Am I overthinking this?
No, that's what I thought as well. And he essentially just sort of fired at it with a phaser. There was no sort of... What I was expecting was some sort of deactivation, not let's fire this thing at it and hope it works. Yeah. Not, it's Data. There's supposed to be an intelligent solution, not fire at it.
I have to say, for someone who is doing a podcast 2+ hours of analyzing this movie and then ask, am I just getting too much into this? We're way past that, Rebecca.
I know, right? Now I ask that. Am I overthinking it?
This is really where the movie starts to fall apart for me.
Yeah, guys, right here is where the movie falls apart for me. Up until now, I was totally on board.
I was right there on the bridge of the Enterprise.
I know, exactly. So, the ship explodes, which somehow solves the problem. People then begin to realize that Data is gone. We see people are grieving for him, and the Romulan commander, she contacts the Enterprise and says, you know, I'm sending over shuttles and medical supplies to help you guys. And Picard's like really just like in shock that this all happened. Like he's just, you know, you can just kind of see him like, I don't know how to process this. Then we get a nice little scene here. The bridge crew is assembled and they are drinking some Chateau Picard wine. Picard does toast to absent friends and to family. And, you know, we think about, of course, you know, we've just lost Data, but this crew has lost other people too through the years. And Riker talks about the first time he saw Data. He was in the holodeck, leaning against a tree, trying to whistle a song. Riker says he can't remember the song, but do you guys remember the song that Data was whistling in that first episode?
Yeah, it's from Encounter at Farpoint, right?
Yep.
Something about... No, Pinocchio? No, that wasn't it. No, I can't remember. I'm sorry.
He's whistling Pop Goes the Weasel.
Damn, I knew that was it. Something childish.
He's trying to whistle Pop Goes the Weasel. He can't get it, of course. Which we still see in the episode Brothers, which we previously reviewed. Data still cannot whistle, apparently. We kind of wind down the movie. The Enterprise is in space dock. They're getting repairs. In his ready room, Picard and Riker say their goodbyes. As you mentioned earlier, Steve, Riker is taking command of the Titan. They're going to the neutral zone, and they are going to head up this new task force. Can
I say something about this scene?
Yeah, go for it.
So, I've seen plenty of people leave the Enterprise, for the last time or for a long period. And there's been so many scenes where they've, walked down to the transport room with them to say goodbye. And, I just could not believe Riker just, pivots, turns out, and just walks out the ready room. And that's the end of it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? There's no, champagne toast and a send-off and, some kind of, line where they're just building one of those cheerleader pyramids where their hands touch each other or something.
You said
there's nothing.
Toast, and it made me think of they're yes, he's gone. All right.
I wanted to talk about some deleted scenes, and that's one of them. But yeah. I guess I could talk about that scene there. But apparently, there's a whole set of deleted scenes where he's saying goodbye to Picard, and that they're introducing the new first officer, Commander Madden. Commander Madden's in 3 scenes where it's the next, Picard's next first officer. And he makes a joke, and Riker tells Madden that he's any advice? And Riker's yeah, Jean-Luc is really laid back. Or Captain Picard's really laid back. He likes to just be called Jean-Luc at all times. And, to me, that's the scenes you leave in. That's the stuff that we like as Star Trek fans. And I think that would have been definitely a better, goodbye for Riker than the scene that we got, obviously.
It almost feels like both of these men are suddenly too afraid to show emotion to each other. Yeah. I'll miss you, no homo.
When at the beginning, jokes aside, Picard was you're my family, I love you so much, It's now he's peace. Deuces. Yeah. As every time someone leaves, Rebecca's been going, deuces.
Deuces. Yeah. It is strange. I feel like it's very out of character for these two men who have been through incredible adventures together. They've seen each other through life and death. And as you said, Brooke, Picard in the beginning says, you are my family. And now all of a sudden it's goodbye, number one. Well, okay. That's it? No hug, no nothing. It is so strange. I agree with you too, Steve. I think they cut the wrong stuff from this movie. It seems like they were really trying to make this blockbuster movie and it just lost some of the heart that Star Trek had.
They were trying to go for the explosions, fast cars kind of crowd. Yeah. Whereas you can sneak in touching moments and good stuff in there and still have all that stuff, the crazy action and everything.
Well, especially at the end, when it's all wrapping up. Yeah, that's when you have those touching moments.
Yeah, and you can do that, and it can work. But it's well, maybe we ought to back off a little bit on the fluffy stuff.
Well, speaking of which, there was another scene that got cut out of the last few scenes where Worf and Geordi is cleaning out Data's quarters. Oh. And Spot jumps up onto Worf's lap. Aww. And Worf is I'm not a cat person. But, the cat's, purring, and Geordi's I think he likes you, and that's it. Why can't we get that? That's good closure for Data, too, right there.
Yeah, because it tells us also, too, someone will take care of Spot, and especially because previously we've seen that Worf and Spot did not get along, but now they do.
Yep, it's full circle.
And Spot, because he got scratched before.
Yes.
Whenever he was in that play and was made to thought that he was crazy. And anyway,
that's right. That's how he lost his eye, right?
yes.
Yes, that's exactly how he lost his eye.
Spot was a flirkin.
Yes. I mean, it was a ginger cat, but wasn't Spot a different cat to begin with? I feel like it wasn't always orange, but anyway. I mean, mostly it's been orange, but I feel like way early on it was not orange.
I wonder how many spots there have been.
Oh, I'm sure there's been a bunch of spots. Yeah, it's very strange to me. Also, too, like, something about this movie which that doesn't make a lot of sense doesn't make a lot of sense, but, like, it's unfortunate that, like, Worf doesn't have anything to do in this movie. Like, they don't give him very much to do. He fires a few phasers here and there, but other than that, he's kind of just there.
The best thing he does is he says that the Romulans died with honor.
That's it, yeah.
Because it means so much as him being a Klingon saying that. And that's sad that's all he's got.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got him getting angry about Irving Berlin.
Yeah,
that's right. Reason. That's important. Hey, Brooke, there were 5 cats that played Spot, and initially it was a long-haired Somali cat, and then Spot shapeshifted into a tabby for later episodes.
Shapeshifted.
Yep, I told you it was a flirkin.
Yep, definitely a flirkin.
5.
That's a
nice. Okay.
Captain Marvel reference for those that don't read the comics. Unfortunately, they definitely cut the wrong scenes. That's for sure. Our final shot of the movie pretty much is Picard is talking to B4, but it's so soon after Data's death. It's like, oh, but we've got this backup. So there's that. And he's trying to tell B4 like what kind of a man Data was, that he was always trying to be human and he was trying to be more than himself. And B4 is just like, I don't get it. And Picard's like, yeah, we know you don't get anything.
Like,
and
derp, derp.
yeah, derp, derp, derp. I don't know anything. As Picard leaves the room, B4 begins to sing the opening to Blue Skies. And Worf immediately barges in a rage of, why are you singing Irving Berlin?
I said no Berlin!
I said no Berlin! And that would have been something at least Worf could do. And then Picard kind of smiles and walks off knowing that a piece of Data will survive in B4. And maybe, who knows with time what will happen. That is Nemesis. We did it, you guys.
I have to say, I enjoyed the theme. Like, it was like the regular theme song, but it was more orchestral and more fitting of a motion picture and stuff. So I don't know. I just thought it was nice.
Yeah, I thought that the music was definitely a throwback to earlier Star Trek movies. There were moments where it did sound very TOS. It sounded very Wrath of Khan in parts. And it sounded, there were moments where it sounded like motion picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The most Star Trek-y thing of the movie, besides the fact that they were wearing Starfleet uniforms.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And also, too, I thought there were a couple of moments where, like, the lighting was very reminiscent of original series. Like, there's the scene where Deanna is, like, reaching out, like, with her empathic abilities. And, like, everything is...
It does the Morticia Addams lighting.
Yeah, just on the
just
eyes.
Yeah.
That's very original series.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
too. Yeah, this movie definitely, I felt like it tried to connect you back to, like, classic Trek stuff.
Too much stuff pulled you out of
yeah, I mean, okay, so, yeah, not a perfect movie. Of course, like, I don't think anything is a perfect movie, but, like, problematic, sure, but I think that there's certainly parts in here that I still enjoy watching, and I think that there's a lot here that does tie into Picard, because, I mean, obviously, we've seen in the trailer that there is an android in Picard. We know Brent Spiner will be there playing B4, we assume, but he could also be appearing as a flashback to Data in, previous iterations or something. So yeah, we'll have to see, of course, once Picard starts. Hopefully, by the time you're hearing this in real time, the next episode you'll hear will be episode 1 of Picard. That's the goal here, guys. And so I'll just say, I guess for both me and Brooke, I'm so glad that you took this journey with us to revisit some TNG episodes as well as the movie Nemesis, and then stick with us as we watch Picard together and talk about it and